Very good morning. Good morning. So, very good morning. Yeah, yesterday's match, wow, could have been better, well better. We looked lost yesterday. Yay, we got some more people in. Very good morning. Right, yeah. So let's talk. I thought I would do a bit of guitar work just to blow away the morning. It's nice out there. Yeah, I will always have faith in the team. Always, Vivian. We'll say this much. And this really does surprise me, Vivian. Going back 3 years. I made a bold prediction back then. And I was coming up to St. James's Park. I'd seen Eddie H. And we had a chat for about a couple of minutes. I think it was outside the Strawberry, I think. But yeah, I was talking to him, and then Adam P. Wandered through in my direction. Now, this is going back in time, yeah. But what happened was this: he did an interview with me next to the War Jackie statue, I think it was. But was in the Gallagher area, and I said in me video the other day, finishing 4th or higher. Why? Gets you Champions League football next year. And lots of people turned around at the time. Never going to happen. Never. And I went, give them a chance. Give the lads a chance. Now, some of my songs, yeah, Are You Brave Enough? Break the Shackles. What that's about is this. You know, like when everything looks bad, everything looks negative, etc. And you're like, oh, God, couldn't get any worse. It's to say to the players, those on the pitch, you've got all of this. You know, we're singing songs about you. We're passionate, yeah? And yesterday's match, yeah, I was kind of listening, and I think it was Spanish Mexican. I think understood a few words. The crowd chipped in quite a bit, but we seemed as flat as a car battery. Can you say hello to all your fans in Sri Lanka? David, wow. David, man, you are out there. What's up from Jamaica? Soul Design. I like cheeseburgers. So do I. However, the last cheeseburger well, it wasn't a cheeseburger. It was meant to be a Big Mac. Nah, it wasn't a Big Mac. It was a Flat Mac. Lordo, what if the car battery is not flat? Well, yesterday, that's what we were. It was flat. And I was like, what's going on here? Everyone's trying. I mean, to be honest, right, that young lad we got, Will Sula, push, and push more. Stick that ball in the back of the net, man. And I mean, I watched the game on Friday as well. And yeah, we got a goal target. But really, we could have done better. Kittens are cool. Yeah, they are. except when a kitten is crawling up your leg. No, you don't want that. Yeah, David. I mean, what's going on there with the player? It's so annoying. Reason why is like, I mean, you think back to the cup down at Wembley. I mean, that elation. It's like, a big bubble of elation and then go pop. Why? Why do that? All right, Benny. All right. Someone's made a website. Yeehaw. Mm. There is positives. One of the positives is somebody called Suma. I hope I've pronounced that correct. From Porto, 21 years old. Is the information on Gallant Archives? No idea. Not a clue. I've only just heard about it through Benny. So no idea. One thing is certain. Yeah, like I was saying yesterday to, I think it was Bert Wynn. Everything's fast approaching like a damned arrow. And I have to contact Barry about the StreamYard because I've got to do that as well. That's where the boxes appear. So you can come into a box. Daryl, 36 days until your games come out. No, unless one of the big companies, unless one of they do. I threw it out in March and April. Daryl. Hello from Greece. Very good afternoon. I'm sure the weather in Greece is fabulous. So, Chow. Who was the other one? Is Chow. We're not going for Gay He now. Although, were we ever going for more Gay He? Who knows? So, the ones who we have at the moment. Do you know, I honestly think this, right? And this is my honest opinion. Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes, at least 12 goals each this coming season. I'd like Bruno to challenge Sandro Tonali to possibly 10 goals each. I want them to challenge each other. It's no good to just doing these. Oh, hold on a second. Any big plans for the day with the apps? I can't do anything with the apps until the funding is there. There's nothing in the bank, so that's what's ground that to a halt. See, each of these different things isn't free, and like the other Monday, I thought, okay, I've been looking at this for ages and ages, and I thought on Monday, do it. So I did. And then everybody turned around and said something absolutely mental and stupid. What you've got to realize is this. Yeah? There are 2,300 plus channel videos on my channel. Yeah? 2,300. There are 74 people here, and this is one of the problems. Yeah? Adam Pearson has it. Rubenstein has it. Matty Renton everybody has the same problem. Now there's 60 people in here, 6 likes. Now when I was in Loaded this morning, yeah, a fellow YouTube channel, Loaded Mark MUFC. You got Pete, Daz, and Chris, yeah. Just as a side note, Same thing with Paul Ditchman, the Tomb Review. Loads of people coming in. That has power. Yeah? And it has power that helps you rise. So that's one of the things I kept watching this morning when I was in Loaded, man. Yeah, because they were talking about all these players, Samu, Chow, etc., and who fits into our club. Because you've got to fit into the club. There you go. Now, the one thing I'll say of every single person who does live here, yeah, when you come in from the start of the season, when you come in, just go smash, smash, smash. And what I did this morning, yeah, Pete's talking, pause, press the X button to come out of chat, like, and share. They've got 30,000 subscribers, and I'm sharing them. And what I do is I share them to Facebook, and then I bring my pages in. So when people are looking at the post on the main feed, what they see is blue, black, and highlighted words, because that's the page. And this is how you grow, because people on different pages want different things, you know? So yeah, I was the mods on Loaded Mag this morning. Every 10 minutes, where there's this many in chat, and come on, smash the like. That easy. It's so easy. And what you're going to look at is this. Yeah. One thing. Yeah. You're on YouTube because you want to be on YouTube. Correct? Nobody else is telling you want to be on. You want to be in a podcast. Whether it's Adam P, Matty Renton, Magpie Channel TV, NUFC Matters, whoever. You want to be there to hear what they've got to say. So when you come in, hit the like and grow. You know what I mean? If I get to the point where Take the other night, Paul Ditchburn, yeah, 1700 in chat. He's got to press the slow motion button, yeah, slows chat down. The super chats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I've said this personally, that the whatever comes in through a super chat, that goes to the mods. I don't want it, so that goes to the mods. Somebody was saying to me the other day, and I know there is people who do this as well. David, glad you mentioned that. They have been growing at pace for years. So let me open a door for you. Yeah, a little door. It's called Facebook. It's called Twitter. It was called Instagram. Yeah. Now, with Instagram, when you're sharing, you can only share direct, i.e., pick 10 friends, bosh, 10 friends, receive the show on Instagram. Yeah. But if you look at it this way, if you go through, say, our neighborhoods began life political. Yeah. Ruth Edwards, that's who it was built for. But the presence of our neighborhoods is this. Born and raised in Newcastle upon Tyne, but I don't live there no more. So our neighborhoods is, if I put a post on there and turn around and saying, we don't all live in the same area, because we don't. You know, some people live in Liverpool, some in Manchester, some in Sri Lanka, etc. And that's why I build on Facebook, because the very first page where a lot of the fellow YouTube channels can be found, invest in us, must have products. Why? They're talking about Newcastle United. Newcastle United will always be a must have product. And each name has a significance behind it. I'm willing to bet 98% of your viewer base are based in the Northeast. Yeah, that's brilliant, man. Brilliant. You see, one of the things is this, and this is one of the reasons why ages and ages ago I was talking about it. Geordie Nation, yeah? Geordie Nation is for the people of Newcastle upon Tyne. I don't live there, but that's what it's for. So we got Dung Kid 1, 2, 3 shout out. So there you go. Now 75 years here, there's only 11 likes. Let's crack up, man. Yeah. I even said this on Facebook ages and ages ago. You know what it is, right? Every single time you highlight something on Facebook, yeah, are your shows streamed live on X? No, I left X because it's like walking through sulfuric acid rain. You're gonna get hurt. many, many YouTube channels are on X, and they have to take what comes in because they're on X. Yeah, so that's the thing. Excuse me, sneeze coming. Damn, I knew that was coming. But that's the thing. And like I said this morning on Loaded Mag, I'm gonna share. Boosh, it's on. And I always say the same thing. This is live. Come in, smash the like, and say hello. Why? Why do I do that? Because you come in, you click the link, you come in, you hit the like, then you chat to people from there, and there. Simple. Raw dog. Paul, 90% of your content is just you arguing with. Everyone does the same thing. I've seen Paul Ditchburn of the Toon Review many, many times. In fact, I've seen Paul argue with people in chat more times than there's a thumb. Yeah, there's a thumb there. I've seen him argue with people more times than I've got fingers and toes. And, having spoken to Paul several times, he's a big lad. Ex ice hockey. So yeah. I don't, was it? I don't, but I bet they know they're taking. They also stick to the topic. Well, that's what we are talking about. Players like, Samu, Chow, and others. But it's not just that. Life isn't just Newcastle United. Life is other things too. We are coming to the start of a brand new football season where I've said this, I've sung the song. 2 cups. 2 cups to show those in power. That's why I like the song Break the Shackles. Think about it. A song about the team who are struggling and the team achieve Europe. However, it can't be that bad, because in all that negativity, we reach the Champions League again, against all odds. So that's the hope. When I'm singing these songs, that's the hope. It's about people. I mean, I even mention players in songs. Alexander, Tonali, Anthony Gordon. Oh, well, they're not bricklayers, are they? They're not building you a house. No, they're playing football on a pitch. And when the team is feeling down, yeah, we feel down too. That gives you, if you're lucky enough, something to turn around and say, let's do a song about that. And over this like since the last kick of a ball to right now. Everything's been an absolute disaster, a cluster F. And it has, 8 players Eddie's looked at and says he wants. Oh, you've chose them. Oh, you know, all of the like I'm gonna be putting at the back end of this when I share it. It's not just about the big channels. It's also about the little channels as well. Black and white banter, who is jetting off like Adam Pearson to follow the club. Now, we spoke about that when the last kicks of balls were going to happen in the Premier League. Moving forward, a forward projection, i.e., going to games. Yeah? European games. The United Kingdom, years and years ago, long before we were born, the United Kingdom was people from Norway, people from France, people from Spain. Think about it. People, you want to go on about immigrants, yeah? Everybody. Hell's bells. Even my surname isn't British. Yeah, I was born on Tyneside. I was born in Benwell. Well, not technically Benwell, more Jesmond, but I was born there. But the name, that's from France. Yeah, little bit of that somewhere. But here's the thing, yeah? We don't live in a perfect world. If we did live in a perfect world, food banks wouldn't exist. There would be, better things for the people. There's nothing we can do to stop that. If people, like, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. When you've got a situation where lots and lots of bad things are happening, people are going to leave that place. You would, yeah? If where you lived, lots of bad things happened, you're not going to want to stay there. No matter who you are, you know? And that's the thing. I do live in a village. Yeah, I do. And this year, I've put stuff into operation to get me transport so I can go and watch Newcastle United. I can go and talk to fellow YouTube channels and grow. That's it. Grow the channel, grow the websites, and then years and years time later, look back and go, yep, I did that. Is that so hard? You know? One of my things I keep saying to people, 100% mags, like I say, black and white banter, and a few others, I've mentioned it too as well. You look at this, all of the current content creators for our club, if they all went in line to 100,000 subscribers each, that's not even scratching the surface. Look, if I'm going to give you an example, Mark Goldbridge, I think that's what he's called. He has he did have 2 point something million subscribers. Down at, he covers Manchester United. And there was a meltdown at the time, and there was him and about 8 other, all the same channel, Manchester United. But you look at all their subscribers, there was Mark, who lost quite a few subscribers because he had a pure meltdown. And he's now growing back up to that 1.7 million, I think it was yesterday. But you think of the power of that and where we are as a club. Yeah. Newcastle United and all of its YouTube channels. Who's the biggest? True Geordie. It's not Adam Pearson. It's True Geordie. But if we can all get there, imagine the good every single channel can do in their community. Think about that. David is saying you should be taking note of TTR comment above and take their advice on board. Right, let's have a little look. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look. The Toon Review is not an NUFC channel. Okay, so you're wearing a Newcastle United football top. You talk about the club, but it's not an NUFC channel. Okay. He isn't growing, but he thinks doing all these different things will grow. You need a subject and grow that subject matter. Okay, Paul Ditchburn. Okay, it's noted. I've just read it. Yeah. Now, here's the thing for you. Yeah, you go to St James's Park a lot. You're a season ticket holder. Yeah. You go to St James's Park. You try this. Try this on for size. Try putting it out. Nobody sings at St James's Park. Nobody. We just sit there and we watch the match. Now, my songs, yeah? Are you brave enough? Break the shackles, yeah? Streets of Home. 2 cups. That's me saying to our players, as a Newcastle United YouTube channel. That's me saying to our players, when you're on that pitch, switch on. Do the business. Make sure at the end of the day, we get the 3 points so that we can rise up the table for the important time. The important time is May. That gives us the UEFA Champions League spot. Now, you talk about Paul Ditchburn's on about saying the crazy things I'm trying to achieve. Yeah. Seeking You and currently Geordie Nation have grown to a halt. I pay the fee, bang, they're back. That costs money. That costs money every month and every year because you have to buy the domain back. So it doesn't come free. It's not free of charge. Yeah. Now, like I say, you've got the songs. We're talking about the club. Although you're saying this is not an UFC channel. Well, what I'm going to say is this. Are you trying to tell me that that right there, isn't a Newcastle United club crest? Are you trying to tell me that? Now, you can try, all you like at the end of the day and convince yourself. But we got to remember is this. Back in the early days, right? Way back in the early days, when we didn't know whether Piff, Amanda, Mia Dad, no one knew note. Back in the early days, I remember being in everybody's chat and sharing from everybody's chat. I remember people who turned round and said, and I quote, yeah, they turned round and says, is this going to work? And I kept saying, keep going, keep going. Now, look where you are as a channel. Look where you are. We all do it different. Yeah, I do music, I sing. That's our little niche. And I still have massive respect for the Toon Review. I have massive respect for John Sinclair. I have massive respect for PD Proudluck. And last but not least is Barry Thomas through Black and White Eyes. Do you know why? Because in the beginning, there was the Four Horsemen. Yeah. Everything grew from that. Now, there are a lot of channels who are on a lot of different pages. They're there because I put them there. David is saying, but how can you expect to reach those levels? Well, it's pretty simple. Don't make stuff. This is one of the key things my nana said to us years and years ago when I was a little nipper man. Don't make things too complicated. Yeah? When the problem with Seeking You and the problem with Geordie Nation is fixed, going to go in there, going to do a live from each week as well as here, and then the agents pop pop, pop, pop. Send it everywhere. From there, it's sent everywhere. And that's the job. It's doing something new. And, finding how to break things, fix things, break them again, and fix them again. Every other, like, even Facebook in its early days had errors. They got the right people in to fix the errors. Yeah. So that's the plan. And to those of you who keep going on about this, yeah, March of 2025, in April, what was I saying? What was I saying? Live. Because I haven't got the ability now to do videos. It's alive. Yeah. Now, right. I'm just scratching the nail. But you get the point. What I'm trying to do and what I'm going to achieve, no one's done that. And that's the honest answer. All those who are going to turn around and say, oh, well, you haven't done this and you haven't done that. I created a meme coin to fund the channel. Tell me which other YouTube channel's done that. You can't. I did that because I want to be able to go to games with the family, do an interview, come back and keep growing. That's it. It's not rocket science. It never was. It's just what I want to do and how I'm going to do it. Yeah. The hope is, as we kick into next weekend, open up the boxes, and then all of the super chats, etc., they go to those who moderate, like Corvu. They're doing a job. So that's what the money does. It goes to them. And at some point, here's an example for you. I'm going to give you a little example. When I was writing the song, where is it? Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Now, you can't read this because it's back to front. So I'll read it for you. Hey, Donald, want to become number one. There's a race. There's a race. The race is who becomes number one. And the number one isn't there yet. No, there's time. But we're both in the same boat. It's called Solana, where we both have our memes. You're a businessman and a president too. The people wanted hope. Remember what you said. We both have our memes. We want to be number one. It's up to you. And I've left it at that because here's the thing. There are a lot of things that we have in common. We both have a meme. His is higher. Mine wants to go higher. So if he gets his targets, then he can challenge for the big title, number one. But he ain't there yet. But yeah. So that was a little caveat to the Americans at the end of the day. But you get the point. Dave, yeah, 0 patron sponsors, subscribers. Yeah. Code Cowboy, yeah. Yeah. But what I want to say is this. You have to have something to get something. Yeah? So there's not just Patreon. No. There's others as well. Now, you all have a fantastic day. And enjoy. Hopefully we get these players in, Sumo, and a few of the others. Well, I think we need 5, 6. Then wait until the end of the current transfer window, hoping. That's all it is. It's a hope. Well, David, in my videos, yeah, David, the David R. In my videos, what do I talk about? What have we talked about for 50 plus minutes? If that's not the club we love, what is it? You know, what is it honestly? Also, it's coins, immigration, and apps. Well, David, you must have came in late. That's all I can say. Nobody knows, says Jeremy. You haven't spoken about Newcastle for 50? Oh, yeah, man. Paul Ditchburn, give your head a shake, man. I've mentioned Chow. I mentioned the poor performance yesterday. Or did you miss that bit? Yeah, I've got all the respect in the world for Paul Ditchburn. For every YouTube channel. Why? Because you're brave enough. Rogue Paul fraudster. Yeah. Watch. Gone. That's the stupidest statement in the history because of this. There's 2,300 videos on this channel. And I'm going to say this much. I'm glad you're in chat, Paul. I'm glad you're in chat because today I'm going to open your eyes properly. You deserve it. Yeah. You know, I've said many times when I've came into your chat, yeah, you're currently at 40,000, yeah. I've said it many times, the same thing. Adam Pearson, Matty Renton, Rubenstein, NUFC matters to 100,000. So today, because you're obviously in chat, I'm going to do something really, really special. And hopefully it works. Hopefully. Because I don't live in Newcastle. No, I don't. Oh, look at that out there. Yeah, look at that out there. Yeah. So I don't live in Newcastle, but you know this here. Yeah, that's still in Hope. Well, do you know one thing, right, Corvo? Paul, 42k is pretty good for an NUFC channel. It could be better. It could be 100. It could be 200, 300,000. Let's look at that. Yeah. David is saying, Paul, take the advice on board as PD is hugely successful on his platform. PD Proudlock goes into his chat. Seen him there several times. Choppy, there's another one. Mason, there is another one. I see it. Mason sometimes comes into other channels. Choppy also comes into other channels. Yeah. Code Cowboy, you're so absolutely in the wrong part. And, you know, I'm just going to guess this. You're ignorant. Oh, right. So we have the very famous Bert Wynn. Oh, yes. The very famous Bert Wynn. Now, here's the hope. Before a ball's even kicked in anger, we get these players who I want and our players roll up the sleeves, put in maximum performance. Newcastle United finished top 4, 25-26 season. And I can back the Labrooks and stick the bet on. So, to all of you who came in, much appreciated. You know what, Paul? Watch and learn because I'm going straight on to Facebook. So, like I say, I'm going to open your eyes to something new.